to another episode of Pablo's Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be cooking something nice and healthy. I'm going to be doing salmon fillets poached in a Thai style coconut sauce with lime and chilli. It's a bit of a cheat, nice and easy. In preparation for doing this, I'm going to prep a few things now, which I'll go through with you. So, quite straightforward. I'm going to need 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. And the idea, these are quite small, so I shall just use around about 4 of these, flatten them with a knife, don't want to kill us with garlic, take the paper off. It's always a good idea when you're cooking in the kitchen to get yourself a little muck box and put it to one side on the counter where you're working, and that way you can be nice and clean and tidy while you work. Just peel the paper off the last one. There we go. Get rid of the paper. Keeping a little bowl of water in the kitchen is always a good thing as well, so you can wipe your hands. Get a cloth to hand, and we'll just proceed to flatten this and then chop it nice and finely, like so. Keep your thumb out of the way so you don't take the top off your thumb. This knife, should I say, is exceptionally sharp, honed on a stone, so I want to keep everything well away from the actual blade. If your knife skills aren't great, you can always do hand on top and a little bit of cross chopping. No one's going to look at you, there's no brownie points, we're at home, we're in lockdown and we're cooking. So there's the garlic. I like to get a little saucer and prep things ahead of time, and then I put them out, when I'm ready to cook, I put them out in the order that they go in with the recipe, and everything's done. You're not caught on the hop with something boiling away or burning. So that's the garlic prepped. Again, a little wipe down. Next, I need to grate some ginger. Now what I do, a little trick for you, if you don't use an awful lot of ginger every day, I buy my ginger whole at the supermarket. I cut it into little bite-sized chunks like that. I don't even peel it because a lot of flavour's in the skin. And then when I need it, I just get them out the freezer, because that's what I do. Bung them in a food bag, stick them in the bottom of the freezer, and whenever you need garlic, or chilli rather, ginger should I say, get it out and then you're ready to go. Now the ginger and the chilli are going to go in together, so there's no reason why I can't put them in the same little dish. And as you see, it grates just fine from frozen. And I want about 2 teaspoons full of this. Of course you can adapt this to your own taste. There you go, see that? Nice little pile of ginger with my grated garlic, or my chopped garlic should I say. I don't think I'm going to need that second one. Pop that in there, stick this back in the freezer. In the food bag with the others. Back in the freezer for another day. So that's the ginger and the garlic. Now the next thing I want to do is I am going to use some red chilli. And this is for a garnish later on. So what I do is, again, I freeze my chilies, stick them in the bottom of the freezer, freeze them. When you need them, put them in a cup of cold water for about 5 minutes and they're as good as gold. And I'm just going to chop these into some nice horse's ears, as Ching calls them. So a slight diagonal cut, like so. One chilli will do, because as I say, it's mainly for garnish. Put that in my little prep dish. And that's another bit of prep done for later. Now, this recipe calls for some lemongrass, and I haven't got any fresh because we're all in lockdown and we've got to work with what we've got. So the next best thing, and it isn't that great, but it's better than nothing, is I've got some dried lemongrass. Now, I'm not so sure about lemongrass, I don't know about you, but whenever I make something with lemongrass, you can never get it fine enough so that it doesn't taste bitty in the finished dish. If I had whole lemongrass, I would just take the outer leaves off and I'd probably put it in whole and let it cook through and then pull it out and discard it so I'm not biting on bits of woodiness. But because we're working with what we've got, I've got a little spice grinder here, and what I'm going to do, if I can get the lead to stay, I'm going to put a little bit of lemongrass in here and I'm going to whiz it up to a powder. Put the lid on. Handy little gadget this, around about 18 quid off Amazon. Use it an awful lot. Lid off. There we go. Lemongrass powder. Just get that out. And I'm going to pop that. In fact, I'll leave that there for later. The other thing with this I'm going to need the zest and the juice of a lime. Now I've got a little gadget for taking the zest. All the flavour is in the skin of a lime, which is what they call the zest. So give it a bit of a roll to make life easier when you're getting the juice out later. Now you can use what you call a microplane. That's a microplane. It looks like a grater, but it's got quite sharp edges on it. I'm not so keen on that big one. And I tend to like to zest mine into strips. So let's just put that there for a moment. Take this and just go like so. And all I'm doing is just taking the surface green off into the dish. So when I'm cooking it later, that'll go in. And as you can see that up close, you can find the camera, nice little ribbons of flavour. And then, because I'm going to squeeze the lemon later on, I'll cut it in half and just put it there to one side again. So that's my prep largely done. Let me just see if there's anything else that I've forgotten. So the things I'm going to use later with this is I'm going to need some coconut milk, I'm going to need a splash of fish sauce, and I'm going to need a little bit of chilli. Again, it's a cheat this, it's not a proper Thai red curry sauce, but it'll taste very much like it, and I'm going to use sriracha. Ideally I would have liked a garlic chilli paste, but I haven't got one. So a bit of sriracha in the coconut milk when I'm cooking it through later on. That will give it the heat we desire and the flavour. And to get extra flavour into this, I'm actually going to caramelise some brown sugar in there as well. So I'll show you that all later when I do the main dish. Okay, I'm back. Funnily enough, after doing the prep earlier, I was just realising that it's very hard to look at a camera and look at the actual lens as opposed to look at yourself in the display. So something I'm going to try and better. This is Amateurville, I've watched that many cook programs over the years. As you probably know by now, I'm trying to do my own. So I've done the prep. I'm doing a poached salmon fillet in a Thai style coconut sauce. Everything's prepped earlier on. So I'm going to get a little bit of oil in a pan. Now, I thought about it after doing the prep and I realised that I probably could use a little bit of veggie in there. I don't want to overdo it because you know, it's going to keep things as simple as possible, and I haven't got an awful lot of Asian veg in. So what I have got is a red pepper. So I'm going to throw the red pepper in. As you know by now, I like to wash as I go along. Excuse me. Wow. So let's just get a little bit of a fry on those peppers. Have a beer. Keith Floyd would be proud. He didn't drink lager. I don't drink an awful lot of wine, but I might make the exception later. So we're getting a bit of a sizzle on. And the first thing that's going to go in, as soon as I've got a little bit of colour on these, is some lemongrass and chilli and diced, or should I say finely sliced garlic, which I did a little earlier. The star of the dish is going to be some nice salmon fillets. Now, as always, in the real world, you can't always get what you want. I went out and I was trying to get some raw salmon. Unfortunately, I've only been able to procure these smoked salmon fillets, which I've put a little bit of pepper on the top. So, excuse me. Turn that gas down a bit. This one's a bit fierce. I would normally have seared the salmon, skin down, with salt on the skin for a couple of minutes or so, flipped it over without cooking it all the way through, and then I would take it out and then put it into this sauce. So all I'm going to do, because it's been smoked already and it's ready to eat effectively, I don't want to overcook it, so I'm going to put it just into the sauce and do the sauce first and allow a little bit of poaching. So we're thinking on our feet here and working on the hoof. So I'll turn that gas down a little bit, and I'm going to throw in my lemongrass garlic mixture. Just get a little bit of that. I'm going to throw in a couple of bits of red chilli that I prepped earlier as well. Save the rest for some garnish. Making a mess, the wife will go mental. As you can see, I've got the back door open. I'm trying to work here without resorting to the hood, which proved a bit hard the other night, because I tend to use chilli and spices and they do tend to smoke a bit and get you going. That's such is life. Now, I want to make a little bit of caramelisation with some soft brown sugar. So that's going to go in. Just wash as you go along. You won't have a load of pots at the end. You know what, I might just take that off a bit, because that is a very fierce jet. It's the best jet for the filming side of things, but it's the hottest jet I've got. What I'm going to do is actually put a little bit more of that sugar in, because I do want to get a bit more sweetness into it. So just soft brown sugar, bang it in. So I've actually put 3 teaspoons in the end. Back on. As I say, we're looking for a little bit of caramelisation.
don't know if you can see that, but that's gone all brown and gooey and sticky. Now this has got a bit of chilli in it. Again, I did want some garlic chilli paste, but I'm having to make do with sriracha chilli sauce. Hear the sizzle on that. Fabulous. Now, in with some coconut milk. A whole can, 400ml. Don't you just hate it when that sticks like that, but never mind. Beautiful. Don't waste any of that. Turn the gas down. In the bin. Yep, still live, still going. Bring that up to a simmer. Have a quick snifter. Just try and get that to nicely go into a liquid. Okay, I'm going to put in a splash of about a tablespoon of fish sauce. And now, just a little bit of a taster. A little bit of salt. I think we can risk a little bit more fish sauce. A bit of nice tartness. Here's me not double dipping. I do that in a professional kitchen. I'm at home, I can dip it as many times as I want. It's only me and Julie eating it. That's nice. That is beautiful. So, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to gently, as I can, put the salmon fillets in. Ooh, nearly. How many chefs watch as they go along, eh? Right, just going to let that simmer in the steam for a mo. Now today, I'm just going to serve this with boiled rice. I'm keeping things simple, and I'm keeping it really simple because I couldn't be bothered making any boiled rice today. What I've got is the supermarket Dodge, wherever it is. Basmati rice, 2 minutes in the microwave. Nothing wrong with this at all when you're busy. Let's face it, there's a lot of people that are busy at the moment. You know, a lot of people sitting at home and a lot of people busy as well. And they come in, don't want to spend an awful long time in the kitchen. So, send it to Chernobyl for 2 minutes. Super duper. Have a little bit of a snifter to kill the time. Now, if this was a seared salmon fillet that I'd done from raw, seared it for 1.5 minutes pretty much each side. I would have took it out, I'd have put it back in now, and I'd probably give it about 4 minutes to cook through. As I say, this one is already cooked. It's smoked salmon, so I'm not going to kill it. When that dings with 2 minutes, I'll take the salmon out and just finish off the sauce or the broth with a little bit of lime and zest and chilli, and we'll go from there and see where we end up. And show you how that's just bubbling away in the pan. In fact, I think that's not far off. Let's take the lid off, turn the gas right down. Get a plate to put the fillets on. Right, now, here's we go. Take it off the heat. As gently as possible. Put those on a plate. Realise now you can't see the plate. Bubble bubble, my favourite sound. Ooh, warm that. Turn that off the heat for a minute. So there we go. That's the salmon that's now been warmed through. Put that there for a mo. Get rid of that. Now then, bad taste joke. Gonna put in there the zest from the lime that I prepped a little bit earlier, and I'm gonna put the juice. Let's get a spoon. Easy way to juice a lime. Just use a spoon. Get the juice of that lime in there. Absolutely gorgeous. Go on, let's have the lot. One lime. Just get all that lovely juice in there. And nabby dozy, a bit wash your hands, right, good dry. Right, so a wee taste up. Gonna throw some coriander in there. And I think that needs just a little bit more salt. And we're not far off plating. There we go, not double dipping again. Ah, yum yum yum. So, let's get ready to plate. One minute in the microwave, warm the dishes up. Throw a few of these red chilies in. Looking good, have a bit of a clean up, ready for plating. Cheers. Okay, take that off. Now, let's see if I can manoeuvre this camera a bit to see the final result. So, this is proper Amateurville. Amateurville is what I meant. So there we go. Let's get our rice in. Let's try and make it as even as possible. Okay. Now, see if I can do this. Bearing in mind how healthy this is, salmon's really oily, it's a really good fish, we should be eating more fish. And this is from me, I'm not the biggest fish eater in the world. I'm trying to get healthy, trying to stay healthy. Get a serving dish, or spoon should I say. After a lifetime of talking, it's crazy how hard it is to talk when you're doing something in front of a camera. Look at that. Pretty yummy. I bet you wish you had smell-o-vision now. And there you have it. So, I'll just edit in a little later a photo of the final dish so you can see it in all its glory. I'm going to say to her half an hour and I'm going to get off and call the wife down who's eagerly waiting upstairs, and we're going to get some scram. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
We came across the West Sea. We didn't have much idea of the kind